been a confusing week for people hoping to schedule a COVID vaccine.
Everyone is kind of wondering what is happening. What do we need to do? Do we need one? Do we not need one?
Today, some pharmacies are offering clarity. The Rockies are the team that everyone loves to hate, but not even a string of historically bad seasons can impact ticket sales. After 16 years, drivers are in for a smoother ride over a bumpy bridge.
You know, I want to be on the news, but not for something like vandalism.
And we've got some good news. She's not on the show for vandalism. She's proof that you're never too young to make a positive change. Tonight on Next. The rules for who can get a COVID vaccine seem to be changing daily. One day you need a prescription, the next you don't. Some stores have the shots, others are still waiting to get them. As the Trump administration puts limits on vaccines, Colorado is trying to make it easier to get them. Here's Spencer Soisher.
Call it a roller coaster of confusion.
It has been. It's because it's constantly changing.
Finally, though, clarity is coming along for Coloradans.
Starting today.
At Safeways and Albertsons, pharmacies are now offering COVID vaccines without a prescription, something that used to be as easy as
1, 2, 3.
But then came uncertainty on CDC vaccine policy from Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and a narrow authorization from the FDA. Last week, CVS and Walgreens announced they would require a prescription before vaccinating most patients. Democrat Governor Jared Polis issued a health order that took effect Friday, allowing pharmacies in Colorado to administer the vaccine without a script.
So that's the struggle that we're having, is we want to take care of folks, and now we're going to be able to do that.
But hurdles still exist elsewhere. CVS, for example, says it's now allowing people in Colorado to book an appointment online without a script. But if you want to book it, you have to mark that you have a higher risk condition. Now, higher risk is pretty broad. Ever smoked a cigarette? High risk. Mental health condition? High risk. Physically inactive? High risk. There's an other option too. And if you feel bad you're taking one from someone else, CVS says there's plenty of supply.
The board hereby adopts rules 19.00 and 3.00 on an emergency basis.
Guidelines approved by the State Pharmacy Board Friday will also give pharmacies some flexibility in how they administer the vaccine.
If you're interested in getting an age-appropriate COVID-19 vaccine, you can do so with the new Colorado order.
Safeway and CVS appear to be doing this a little differently, but the access and the confusion seem to be improving.
It's still dynamic right now. Everyone is kind of wondering what is happening. What do we need to do? Do we need one? Do we not need one? And today kind of solves that issue for us. Hey team, thank you so much, guys.
We also reached out to Walgreens today for more clarity on what they'll be doing. They also were requiring a script before today. We haven't heard back. I did try to use their online system a little bit ago and got the same message as people were getting from before, that a prescription is required before an appointment.
And it seems like each store is perhaps different, and that's what's creating a lot of this confusion. If you want one of these vaccines, you don't necessarily know what you need to do to get it.
Right, confusing is the right word. There's just nothing universal about this, which is what I think makes it difficult. We don't know who has it. We don't know who's going to get turned away. Call the stores before you go. Make sure you can get in there and get one if you need to. I just spoke with someone a couple of minutes ago at a different store, and they told him he needed a prescription.
This is bringing like 2020 vibes where everybody was like, how do I figure this all out? How do I get the vaccine? Not exactly great. Spencer Soisher, appreciate it. Thank you. Officials are still investigating the cause of a small plane crash near the Centennial Airport this morning. Both passengers on board were killed, and fire crews had to work quickly to try and put out that fire that was threatening an industrial park. The crash happened around 6:30 this morning. The plane appeared to be doing something called touch and goes at the airport, common maneuver used in training and airplane testing. The plane went down in an industrial park just east of the airport. You can see the flight path on this map right here. The airplane did one big loop, then crashed as it was heading back toward the direction of the airport. Firefighters say the plane barely missed a building and a number of large generators as it came down. The NTSB is investigating that crash now. The Trump administration is combing through Colorado's Medicaid data, along with data from at least 5 other states, in an effort to crack down on health care spending on immigrants. According to public records obtained by the Associated Press, the feds say they're looking for waste, fraud, and abuse as they make drastic cuts to spending on Medicaid. Colorado is one of several states that uses state and federal funding to provide health insurance coverage to children and pregnant women in the U.S. without permanent legal status. Federal law allows states to bill the federal government for emergency and pregnancy care for immigrants, but according to those records obtained by the AP, Medicaid officials say they're scouring payments to make sure that federal funds aren't going towards other costs like prescription drugs and specialty care. In a letter to officials in California, the Medicaid office says that states that are billing the government for extra costs could face a lawsuit or lose federal funding. We have a countdown clock. Where is it? Over here. 10 minutes now until there's a Rockies game here on 9 News. We'll get to what that means for this show in just a second. But first, let's talk some baseball. It's no secret that the Rockies aren't exactly competing for the World Series this year, but the fans don't really seem to care. In fact, Coors Field has had a higher attendance each of the last 3 seasons when the Rockies have lost at least 100 games than when the team made the World Series back in 2007, 2008. Back in that 07 era, and back in that 07 season, the Rockies had their best season ever, the only time they've made it to the World Series. The average attendance at Coors Field that year, according to ESPN, was around 29,000. Fast forward now to 2023 and the beginning of the Rockies' 3 consecutive 100-loss seasons so far. Average attendance that year was more than 32,000. In 24, it was more than 31,000. In this season, which will likely be the worst in Colorado Rockies history, the average attendance hovered around 30,000. 3 consecutive 100-loss seasons. 3 consecutive seasons where more fans poured into Coors Field than when the Rockies made it to the World Series. Clearly, the addition of the party deck is working. Speaking of the Rockies, tonight's show is going to have a bit of a different flow than what you're used to. We're broadcasting on both Channel 9 and Channel 20 right now until around 6:15. Then we'll turn you over to the Rockies game, airing on both of those channels. Next, we'll continue streaming only on 9 News Plus until 6:30. You'll get the same amount of news, just broken up a bit differently than what we're used to here. Still ahead when we come back, President Donald Trump is once again threatening action if Colorado doesn't release a convicted county clerk.
With the ice and snow, and then you have to put plows on it, and then you're putting mag chloride down, and it's all very detrimental.
And CDOT is trying to smooth things over on a vital bridge between Denver and Aurora after 16 years of bumpy rides. That's next. Denver, Uganda, and Pakistan don't usually have a lot in common. But last night, we all found ourselves at the top of the list for worst air quality in the world. Denver was number 3 behind Lahore, Pakistan, and Kampala, Uganda. The cold front that moved in brought smoke from wildfires in the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia, caused some terrible air quality, and it just really smelled awful outside. Luckily, it's improved just a bit since then. Chris Bianchi is joining us this evening, and Chris, you and I both went outside last night as the smoke was settling in, and it just felt like it kind of came out of nowhere and engulfed the city. It got colder really quickly, and then all that smoke just came in really fast, and the data kind of shows that.
Yeah, it was a pretty nasty front, no doubt about that. And well, I should say the smoke that came with the front was nasty, and we had ground ozone because it was so warm yesterday. That's what made the air quality so bad, was a combo of ground ozone plus the smoke. Now we've got just the smoke, but those temperatures much cooler than this time yesterday. Today we only topped that at 64, our coolest high temperature in 94 days since June the 3rd for us, also about 20 degrees below average. Still going to see some more smoke. In fact, it'll get worse tonight and tomorrow morning before things get better for tomorrow afternoon. Reason being, high pressure moves in from the south and west. That'll scour out the smoke and give us a bit more of a westerly flow and warm us up into the 80s for tomorrow. So pretty good jump coming for your Saturday afternoon. 70s, 80s, Eastern Plains, 60s and 70s in the high country. And if you like the fall taste today, well, hope you enjoyed it. We're going right back to summer, and it's going to stay that way for a little while with highs near 90 for most of next week, especially next Wednesday.
It's hard to prepare Colorado's roads for all the snow and ice in winter. After 16 years, CDOT is admitting one experiment didn't quite work out. All right, time for some Rockies baseball for everyone watching on Channel 9 and Channel 20. Next is switching over to 9 News Plus, and you can stream the rest of this show online. I'm told the rules are a little bit looser on streaming. Might be able to cost, maybe. We'll find out. See you there in a couple minutes. For months now, President Donald Trump has been strong-arming Colorado officials to try and let the state's most prominent election denier out of prison. Today, for the first time, he admitted there's really not much that he can do. Former Mason County Clerk Tina Peters is serving a 9-year prison sentence for helping outsiders infiltrate her county's election systems to search for proof of election fraud. Since taking office, Trump has threatened, quote, harsh measures if Peters is not released. And the Justice Department says it's reviewing her case. Today, Trump again threatened to take action, but also said it's difficult to interfere with her conviction on state charges.
It's a state charge, so it's hard to do anything with, but we're gonna do something. She's trying to find out what was going on, and they went and arrested her for doing that, and it was supposed to be the other way around. I'm glad you brought that up. They should let her go, let her out.
Earlier this week, we asked Governor Jared Polis whether his office would let Peters out of jail to avoid retaliation from the White House. Polis told us, quote, justice is not for sale. Every day, tens of thousands of drivers hit a bump in the road. Several bumps, actually, very specific bumps. CDOT is rehabbing the bridge that connects southbound I-25 to northbound 225, right where Denver meets Aurora. They're bumps that our Marshall Zellender drives often and has wanted to do a story about for years because there's a unique reason why that particular road, Marshall, is so bumpy.
Yeah, it's a selfish story, I guess. In 2009, CDOT put a new-at-the-time material on that flyover where the cars are going up the hill right to left there, a mixture of gravel and glue-like material that was supposed to be better for traction in the wintertime. Turns out it really didn't do any better for CDOT than anything else they could use and have used ever since, and it's been chipping away on the roadway. And so drivers, the 35,000 or so daily drivers here, are about to have as smooth a ride as anyone can remember in the last decade and a half. It's not the worst this roadway has looked. The flyover from southbound I-25 to northbound I-225 is now shaved. Before, it had unsightly bumps, which is understandable from Steve Long's perspective as a professor of transportation engineering at MSU Denver.
Colorado is very unforgiving when it comes to roadway surfaces to begin with, with the ice and snow, and then you have to put plows on it, and then you're putting mag chloride down, and it's all very detrimental.
CDOT engineers tried something advanced for 2009 when they put a new traction material on the flyover.
It's new to Colorado. If we do have to take it off, it's just like taking off normal asphalt.
It came off bit by bit on its own, and now it's all gone.
Rather than just taking a roadway, maybe cleaning it off a little bit and putting something down, you're actually stripping off the top thin layer of concrete.
The 225 flyover bridge maintenance is one of 4 happening between now and next fall, with a short break when winter returns. Another 225 bridge at Parker Road will be worked on, another one at 28th Avenue, and an I-76 bridge near 144th in Brighton.
This is a little bit like painting a house. You can put a cheaper paint on the house and paint it every 2 or 3 years, or buy more expensive paint and get more longevity out of it.
Until the work is done, drivers can still feel like nothing's changed, since there's still at least one bump remaining between the ramp up the hill and the bridge itself. This work is being done also to keep the bridge itself safe, because the overlay protects from water and de-icer material getting into the parts of the bridge, Mark, where you don't want water and de-icer getting into parts of the bridge so that it remains standing.
Yeah, Marshall, from the drone flying over, you can really see that where it's all worn off. And we know that those bridges, those flyovers, especially in the winter, obviously in the winter, get really icy because it just freezes quicker. So de-icing that, I imagine, is also difficult.
Yeah, it's funny that we're talking about this on a time when it's about to be 90 degrees again. But in 2009, CDOT had said they were going to put some sort of automatic de-icing system on that flyover. I don't believe that ever happened. And I know that it's probably expensive at the time, and it takes a lot of upkeep. I don't think that's a solution that they're considering right now, versus just putting some better traction material for the upcoming winter that I thought after today we might be feeling, but after what Bianchi was saying, back to the summertime.
Yeah, it feels like fall out there. Well, for your sake, Marshall, I hope that your commute becomes a little bit smoother. Appreciate it. Thank you. And we want to say thank you to you as well for all that you've done so far this week to help create a dedicated space for hundreds of kids to learn, grow, and play. Here's Kyle with an update on this week's microgiving campaign.
There's a really cool community project up in Chaffee County that is about to happen, and we get to be a part of it. This week's Word of Thanks microgiving campaign supports the Boys and Girls Clubs of Chaffee County as they build their first club in Buena Vista. Right now, the kids who gather at the club space in BV to learn, to play, to pick up the healthy habits that are going to carry them through life, they're in borrowed space. But the club is getting close to breaking ground on a new center where they're going to have a gym, a STEM lab, a running track. This is going to be a one-of-a-kind hub for the Buena Vista community, not just for the boys and girls who go there for those life-changing programs. Text the word thanks to 303-871-1491 or scan the QR code on your screen to join me and a bunch of other Coloradans in giving to this project. If you know anything about the Boys and Girls Clubs, you know how they change lives for kids who are most in need. This is a chance for us to help expand their reach and their impact in that corner of Colorado. And nearly 6,000 of you have turbocharged our weekly micro-giving campaigns by giving to the Word of Thanks Fund. You can use the same QR code or text to get there. It means that we've started these recent micro-giving campaigns with more than $35,000 in donations.
We're back with your feedback and our weekly dose of good news. Next. Allison Haberacker from Colorado Springs is just 13 years old. And for the past 4 months, she's been recovering from a heart transplant. After months of recovery time, she was sick of that hospital food. So she decided to do something about it.
I want some fried pickles. But there was like no place close that had fried pickles. You know how you get things done, you make a petition, because petitions do stuff. It was like kind of like a rumor around the hospital, like, there's a petition for fried pickles, go sign it. They brought me fried pickles to try. I'm like, oh, we're going to get it on the menu.
The flavor was so good. I absolutely love them. She definitely picked out a really good fried pickle.
Number 2!
So I thought it was just going to be like a hospital thing. But then they're like, oh yeah, you might be on like the news or on the radio. And I'm like, okay. Like, I didn't think I'd go that far, but okay, I'm fine with that.
I thought it was amazing that she was able to do that while, you know, stuck in the hospital when you're kind of stuck in bed all day. And it's very easy to get kind of down and depressed being in that situation. And she was able to find something that brought her joy and also everybody else joy, because everybody there, except for a few exceptions, really loved fried pickles.
You know, I want to be on the news, but not for something like vandalism.
The nice juicy center with the nice crispy outside.
Yeah. She's definitely part of my heart and what keeps me chugging along, even with everything being so difficult in life. She makes things a lot brighter.
I love her, and I hope she's recovering well. And it's not just a one-time thing with the pickles. Every 4 weeks, Allison's Fried Pickles have a spot on that hospital menu for everyone. Your feedback tonight, someone says Dick Montfort would rather move the team than sell it. Dick Montfort is, of course, the person who owns the Colorado Rockies. I don't think the Montforts are moving the Rockies because all those people, all of us, are still going to Coors Field because it's so much fun to watch the Rockies. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.